Pokémon Go. You play it, you love it, but it's not exactly perfect. Here are just a few things that still really bother me about the game. Bad connections. This was a huge problem at launch, and to their credit, has improved significantly. But I have to say, we're a month into Pokemon Go, and still on a daily basis, I have problems either with the game freezing up while I'm trying to catch a Pokemon, or even worse, the game not loading at all. Now, I put this at number 5 because I think it's the most understandable issue. The game is clearly very popular, and I can't even imagine the level of stress on the servers. Despite that, it does need to be fixed. To quote the angry video game nerd,
"What's the most important aspect about any game? Well, being able to f***ing play it."
Pokemon are kind of hard to catch. Listen, I like to play a game with a challenge. You can leave the Candy Crushes, the Farmvilles, the World of Warcrafts to the noobs. I'll play something meaty. That being said, why is Venonat like a gymnast? I swear like 50% of my throws would be perfect, but then the stupid Pokemon jumps around, causing the Pokeball to bounce off into the distance. Don't get me wrong, I'm totally fine with having a game mechanic which requires a skill set, but most of the time you really can't predict what they're going to do. It's not a strategy, it's just chance. I've seen people say that you need to be patient, you have to wait for them to jump and then throw it. I have literally seen them jump, then thrown the ball, and then they jump again without warning. Maybe I'm just an idiot and I can't figure out basic patterns that are right in front of my face, but it sure seems random to me. That, coupled with the disconnects mentioned previously, have wasted so many of my Pokeballs that I've actually run out while trying to catch a super rad Pokemon that I really wanted. Is it unreasonable to ask for a little bit more strategy here? I can't play the game with my friends. Now, this is not the biggest problem, and there are already improvements on their way with the promise of being able to trade Pokemon. But even still, for a game that has such a cultural impact, getting people out of their house and into the real world where real people are, we still really don't interact with each other that much through this game. Besides just looking at your screen and telling someone, "I think there was a Venomoth back there," there's not much we can do to interact with each other. The amount of interaction through gyms and using lure modules is interesting but pretty minimal. So Niantic, please, give us something more. The word nearby apparently has a pretty flexible definition. This feature has apparently been made even worse with the latest update where the tracks were removed, but I've seen rumors that this is Niantic preparing to significantly improve it. So I guess we'll see, but until then, it's super frustrating. Most of the time when I see a Pokemon that's supposedly nearby, I never even see it. Where was it supposed to be? Did I happen to walk in the wrong direction? What's even more confusing than that is when a Pokemon appears that wasn't even listed in the box labeled nearby. What's the point of the stupid nearby box if completely different Pokemon are in the area? Okay, that's all. Fighting at the gym is not fun or interesting. Yes, this game is essentially a casual scavenger hunt for a mainstream audience, but you are aware of the source material, right? A fairly comprehensive rock, paper, scissors turn-based strategy game. And what do we get? Tap, 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 swipe, rinse, repeat. Not to mention the fact that the dodge mechanic is pretty weak. It can be difficult to time it right, so most of the time the combat just comes down to a game of finger tapping. I must admit, I'm not smart enough to come up with a better combat system, but this is fairly brainless, and I'm sure there's something that can be done to enrich the experience. Well, thanks for listening to my rant. I hope I didn't come off as overly critical or unappreciative. Despite having room for improvement, Pokemon Go still provides a fantastically rewarding experience, and I look forward to playing it for months to come.